Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 75 of Blacklight Settlers. So, let's see what you all voted for. Short-term goals, doctor hats and coats. Made out of something white. So probably, my guess is Thrumbo for the coats and cotton for the hats. I don't know, I'll have to figure that out. Build a room for the reactor. So that is a room for the reactor out at the outpost that is defensible, etc. Outpost bedroom for Endelos. That's the hunting outpost bedroom. Go and buy organs, kidneys and lungs, because I need them. And send a skeleton crew to the ship outpost to put work in. All right, well that sounds all very reasonable. As you can see, I did not use my veto power, so I still have that intact. Let's get going. So I had a bunch of tips. First things first, Mighty 8 and Strudel Ninja mentioned that an outdoor area for my lovely forced romance wouldn't be a terrible idea. So, yeah, I would agree. I would wholeheartedly agree. They're not going to get much of an outdoor area, to be fair. I don't have a lot of real estate to spare. So they might just get mini yard. I know it's not much, but it is what it is. It's gonna have to be enough. So we'll turn this into a pretty little yard where we can grow roses, I guess, and maybe, I don't know, grow a few trees. I'm just gonna call this Tree 1 and Tree 2. Reminds me of Seuss. Dr. Seuss, that is. I'll grow chocolate trees. I don't think they're actually gonna grow. And this will satisfy their outdoor needs, which has obviously not been met. Another tip was from Dernsid, mentioning that A, my telescope is unusable, and B, the roof over it isn't set up correctly. So let's make it usable. Remove the roof here, build the roof there. All right, that will fix that. Robin Hood of YouTube, that is his name, said, I have a ton of textiles. Maybe I ought to start making nicer chairs. So let's go ahead with some pigskin. And first I'm going to chair off the poker table. And I have enough pigskin for all 4 chairs. And what I might do, well, we'll see. And then I can start replacing the ones in the crafting area, although Velik already has one. The other tip he meant, never mind. Ilya mentioned that Luna and Jova are talking about bowler hats, or hats. They could benefit from bowler caps for social impact. That is a very good point. And there's a lot of other things I could do to, let's say, encourage them to befriend one another. So, yeah, I might go to some, we'll make it out of bearskin. Some extreme measures to get them friendlier to one another. One way is to have them rescue one another. That is a pretty easy to do way. Another is wardening, which is a little darker and might not be a route I take, but it would work. So we'll see. We'll see. First things first. Oh, also, we have some starving animals because I have not been kibbling. Now, I was pretty sure I set this up to do kibble with... Oh, it's suspended. Ah. All right, this was supposed to be the kibble for... this is the hay and insect meat. Or hay and meat, I should say. Just any meat. So this is the hay one. And when I get hay again, I can change the priority here. But this is for the backup kibble, but this was suspended. And now that makes a lot more sense. All right, let's get those bowler hats so that our love prisoners start to befriend one another and get maybe refill their food too, especially while they're sleeping. That way they won't try to leave. Wildman's father. Alright, interestingly enough, Wildman's father is 27? That doesn't sound right. Wildman, you're 34. Yeah, I know there's cryosleep age. Yes, biologically 34. Has never actually been in cryosleep because he was a wild man. He wandered in. So Longshank has to kind of save himself here. There's one town councilman coming in right at the cell that he's at. Yeah, I could send in backup, but I've got, let's call it the ship. This is a community now. Believable? I don't know. I don't think it feels and seems like a community to me, but he said it was, so I aim to believe him. Alright, Longshank, we'll see if you can win the fight. Another thing we could do... Oh, okay, they are moving away. That's okay. That's alright. We can increase beauty in here. Beer is actually probably the last thing I should be adding to the Love Shack because beer increases social fighting. But whatever. Okay, 2 raids at once. Cool. And now it's a good old-fashioned boxing match between... Oh, he's got a Joe wire installed. A tough, bloodlusted person that can't punch very well, and someone that can punch well. We'll see which works best. We'll have a pretty good idea pretty quick. As far as meal restrictions go, let's fix this. So, Wolf, no lavish. Panther, you're an NPM. NPM, no lavish. All, and NPM. So who's still on all? It should be Luna. I think I just reset Luna. Why wasn't Luna on all to begin with? When they're in the love prison, they get all food treatment. You don't need to take the meal. Alright, I'm gonna have her stand around. Luna should be coming in. Actually, let's have them switch hats. I must have already made the other hat. Is someone wearing it? They'd be pretty quick on the draw to wear it. Longshank looks like he's dying. We're losing. Make... Yeah, alright, I made it. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So Jova's grabbing that, and Luna will grab the other one. And this should enable them to have better social interactions with one another. Now the problem is I don't really have any white stuff anymore. White cloth or fabrics. Blue fur is the closest I get. I'm out of Thrumbo. So that poses a bit of an issue. Yeah, he's losing. And now I'm not even sure what's going to happen. Yeah, they're just going to kidnap him. Well, wild man, at least your daddy's still alive. That's an odd start. Alright, Ms. Luna, you are wearing the hat. Let's get you into prison. They didn't sow the trees, maybe because they required larger area than what we provided. So if these two don't warm up to one another soonish, where is this cold snap? Soonish, what I'll end up doing is taking a bit more extreme measures, either using heat stroke or heat stroke rescue or something like that. We'll have to wait and see. Gray Slayers say they're assaulting. We still have all these visitors out front. I'm curious if they're going to intercept. What are you? Yeah, I think they'll fight each other. Everyone hates pirates. Let's get my guys, pull them back. This wild man doesn't even care that his father was kidnapped. Not even a little bit. Yep, they're hostile to one another. This is going to be easy raid. Might not even really have to do very much. Alright, so their outdoor needs, I'm just going to force them to meet. If we check their outdoor needs, they are being fulfilled now, which will make them a little happier. Alright, Gray Slayers are fleeing. Good. It wasn't too hard. I'm sure that, yeah. Actually, a little bit more outdoor benefit here. Alright, animals are no longer starving, but some of them aren't really in the ranch either, are they? Let's put them in the ranch because they're eating my hay, and make sure that we are properly kibbling them. What I might do instead is put some kibble rice here. I keep changing the way I want to do this. Wait, where'd this come from? Did I buy that? I really don't recall buying that. Okay, well, I have one, whether I bought it or not. So we'll go ahead and copy this bill and paste it here. Oh, ISIS is now recruitable. Alright, you two. Another question was, because I never really unrestricted them, them being the two in the love prison, Could it be possible that they're not getting along as a result? I don't think so, just because their schedules still line up, and they're still around one another. That shouldn't be an issue. But if we look at the social needs, 16 and -5 is what we're working off of. I could use the wardening method, which would be a surefire way to get the relation up. But we'll just do the best we can. Alright, so these little buggers now have some food. This will be critical for any meat. And that way we'll make it a little bit faster. We don't need any miscarriages. So really all that they had to rebuff one another. I think this will work. I think honestly that this method will work. If they're rebuffing one another, that means that they both have shown at least initial interest. And it's only a matter of time until the scales tip. Did I root? No, I didn't root this off. Cool. They have plenty of food and recreation. I got a freed grizzly bear. You guys would have been really helpful had I, you know, had you around for the defenses. So one of my goals, as you all voted, was that I set up a room for the reactor. Let's see, I'm opening the goals. And then sending a skeleton crew out there to help assist. So if... I sort of have to decide who the skeleton crew is, I guess. And that's a little tricky. Because it has to be... Ideally, it would be people that are very happy and functional. Leaving the less functional people here, but then that means that we have fewer functional people here to do our defense. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess. Gotta be careful of it. I'm gonna put a few more beds in, especially given how ISIS is probably about to be recruited. Alright, so it's a decently beautiful area. The room that itself, that is. So that should not be much of an issue. The animals are actually getting fed. And ISIS gets to join. Alright, ISIS, you are immediately going to be renamed. What is your actual name? That's a little bit better already. You are Bloodlust, so your restrictions are going to be a little bit different. You're not going to be area restricted. We can have you on Bloodlust Combat. Then you can use drugs because you're not an addict. And then your work. I'm not sure I trust an ISIS doctor, but, you know. I'm not sure what you're good at. I guess you can grow and plant cut. Checking this work, I have a lot of people that just have really weird priorities because they've been to the Outpost. Sergio Griffin, yeah, there we go. I'm just sort of glancing, scanning to see if there's anything that doesn't make any sense. And there's probably a lot, and I'm sure you all will point it out to me, but... Alright, there we go. So the sowing the hay out here is getting started, and then we're sowing pine trees. As you can see, there's a lot of pine trees. And as I sow more pine trees here, I will extend the area, the sowing area, outwards, as that was a goal. It's a goal I don't honestly fully understand why, but, you know, you all told me to do it, so I did it. If you told me to jump off a bridge, and I didn't use my veto power, I guess I'd do that too. I'm curious if they haven't really even interacted with one another at all yet. Alright, so I think one good person to send to the Outpost, really all the ascetics, because I would very, very easily meet their needs. So Griffin and DQ would be two very good people to send. He's kind, so he won't get into social fights. He's very, very high construction, pretty decent shooting. Is neurotic, which normally is a downside, but that also means he'll work real fast. And then DQ, because he walks fast, he's steadfast, they're hard to break. So DQ and Griffin are probably good choices for a skeleton crew. And I think those, we do have some ascetic pacifists. He would grow food, I guess. So maybe send Tom as well. Certainly won't help with the defenses of the area, but could grow some food for an MPM dispenser or something like that. Alright, the animals are eating, which is good. I could send them on a trade run. Let's see about who to send on the trade run with. Someone who's not in a relationship and not currently... Oh, we'll send Cupid. Stupid Cupid. Cupid, I'm not even sure why you have a sniper rifle. But, alright, let's go ahead and send you. I'm going to form a caravan with Cupid, who you all voted not to rename Vice President. And give a chain shotgun to. Oh, no, that's Chris. Where is Cupid? There he is. The rancher. Send the animals. And this is a trade run. What I'm going to do is bring a bunch of my leathers that I'm not using. So I'll leave the blue fur and bring everything else, because everything else... I guess the rhino leather has pretty positive properties. I'm just looking to see if there's other things that make a lot of sense to bring. At this point, I could break down my steel traps. I might as well. I'm not really going to be using them. Bring some of the art. I have a lot of beer. It's good to have a nice stockpile of beer, I suppose. And some of these shoddier clothing. Normal quality or damaged, even good quality stuff I can go ahead and sell. Because we're capable of making something better than that. And that's the long and short of it. And maybe I'll have him bring MPM and 300 kibble. Bring a little food. Now we are leaving at night, so that's not perfect timing, but whatever. Endelos went down. Well, it wasn't really a fair fight, given that he was already knocked unconscious, or really rather badly in pain or whatever, due to the fact that he has intense mechanites. So he may have lost, but he's no loser. So Hyena and Babs here should be hauling steel into the stockpiles, and I think that's what they're doing. Albeit a little slowly. Also looks like we need to do some butchering, so I don't care who cooks, you gotta cook. Let's stop using battery power. Neither of them are good constructors, So it's going to be a little tough to get them to build a bedroom for Endelos out at the outpost. Looking at my chem fuel, it is dwindling, isn't it? Let's make it again. We'll add a wood. I'll set forever. Probably not let it run forever, but I'll set it forever. Dano and Vex, the mining duo. Alright, so Zero Day now has a bionic eye and 2 bionic arms, so his manipulation should be quite quick in order to make these. Yep, I would say so. Velik, similarly, I guess Velik doesn't actually have a bionic eye yet, so in a way, Zero Day has more of a benefit to that sort of manipulation than he does. This chair is for Zero Day, so we'll just install it next to him and we'll do a hot swap when appropriate. Cupid is on his way. He's sleeping with no bedroll. If you're wondering why I never use bedrolls, I don't really care. Like, most of the time, they don't freak out when they're out on the road. Alright, so that's pretty good proof that I need more beds when they're sleeping in the storeroom. We have a bulk good trader potentially overhead here. Yep, okay, perfect. Let's go get our orbital trade beacon. Any change here? Nope, they literally have not talked or interacted with one another. Whoa, that is a lot of gold. And a prisoner is tantruming. Alright, so here's Isis's bed, or Izzy's bed, as I've renamed her. Let's move her. Got her own bed rest, got her own wooden dresser, not her own necessarily, but close enough. And we have one more spare bed. Don't break the AC. That'd be annoying. They're chatting with one another. I just don't really understand why they're not. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. No, I was misreading it. Oh, they are even more negative towards one another. I might need to take some extreme measures here. Let's take a look. There. All right. It is cold out. Yeah, I will take some extreme measures. I don't claim defeat that quickly. Alright, I guess it's daybreak now. I'm going to send the skeleton crew northbound. So we decided on Tom. I guess I could send Valentin as well. He's a wimp, though. Can shoot, can mine. Okay, we'll send Valentin as well. We'll send all the ascetics, just because it's going to be very, very easy to satisfy their betting requirements and stuff like that. And I have to find Griffin. There he is. And we'll send them with, I don't know. We'll send them with 100 kibble. And I'm going to have to change some food restrictions around. So let's go ahead and manage food restrictions, new food restriction. I'm just going to call this temp. And it will be allowing all. Once they get there, I can have them all on NPM. But, all right. You're on temp. And temp just means they can eat whatever they want. But I'm sending them with kibble. They won't care if they're eating kibble. They're ascetics. Tom and the wimp. Not that wimp. Valentin. All right. That's a good skeleton crew. I think that will make it a lot easier to manage that outpost. We are running out of power here. Did something... Power lines break? No. I'm just needing more power than normal. Turrets are off. I'm trying to figure out what's draining. I guess I could turn this off. Definitely could turn this off. I don't need that. We haven't traded yet. Let's go ahead and find someone that can do some quick trading. It's going to be Lenka, actually. I don't really need to look that up. Oh, it's not even powered. I see. That is a problem. Not sure why I'm having a brownout here, but we can power down some stuff and figure it out later. All the chem fuel generators seem fueled. I'm actually generating in excess. Oh, it's an eclipse. That explains a lot. All right, let's get these grow lights off for a moment. I'll have to do my damnedest to remember I turned them off. There we go. Says healthier negotiator. Whatever, I don't care. If I waste a little, all that means is my colony wealth goes down. I was pretty sure I sent those shirts away, but maybe I didn't. All right, and what do you have for me? That is the question. I gotta buy your advanced components. That wouldn't be terrible. Is there anything that I can't normally purchase that would be more beneficial to the community? Not really. This bulk goods trader, I can't say has anything all that interesting. Just buy a bulk of the chem fuel, but I can craft that up. Yeah, there's really nothing all that calls to me here. I'll buy the advanced components. No, I'm not even going to. We'll just settle for the silver. And before I forget, I'll move the beacon away. Look at all these growers putting pine trees in. Endelos, you're going to want your assault rifle back. Alright, they are not even being friendly to one another now. Sorry to do this to you, Jova, but you No, actually, the other way around would be more helpful. Luna. Time for you to go unconscious. So the idea here is when you rescue someone, you get a 13 mood buff towards your rescuer. So this room is super hot. It was already hot to begin with due to all the chem fuel powered generators, but now it is going to be heat stroke hot. It's going to knock her unconscious, and then I'll have Jova rescue her. Kind of a cheap and easy way to change some moods around, some relationships. Relationship manipulation. Unfortunately for me, this vendor... Oh yeah, no, I did have 2 pairs of 51% shirts. I wasn't going crazy. These people don't have really anything that I'm looking for. I'll just go ahead and sell off everything I can. Their inventory hasn't changed not one bit since the last time I was here. I'll buy a little bit of their kibble. And it is quite a haul to try to buy organs. So I'm not sure. I'm sort of hostile. Well, I can try up here to, what is this, 2.4 days, 1.9. All right, let's go to this one first. Cupid will be pseudo-exiled out of the community. I say it like that because I'm not exiling him, but he'll be a while. My woods is still looking pretty good. Okay, so the ascetics are heading to the ship, just called the ship. No nonsense about it. I'm sort of curious what is in this poison ship. But given that it can't actually kill really any crops at the moment, it's only been up for 4.4 days, I might just ignore my curiosity. Hunt everything on the map. But yeah, how it really, that last ship really killed off the soil. The eclipse is done, so I can power some stuff back on. Alright, so the caravan has arrived here. Luckily for me, there are a few animals I can butcher immediately. And then I have to sort of figure out how I want my defenses to be laid out. I want to use the deep water, once again, to sort of abuse line of sight. And there's deep water sort of built into the mountain here. Which means if I put turrets... Well, barely. If I could also drain. But that would take a while. But the ship... Yeah, it's sort of a conundrum. If I drained this part, it would take a long time. Alright, of the guys here, we have a miner, we have a constructor, we have a grower, we have a hunter. So that part is good. There's plenty of resources here. I'm not gonna be hurting for food or whatnot. So let's go ahead and start setting up. I'm gonna set up a potato farm here, and we'll put some normal stockpiles here. Just sort of get going. So what I was thinking of is, if I drained enough, what I could do is force the enemies to march around and in. Setting up defenses here along here and forcing them to long march. They will cut this way. So what I could do is if I drained out this way, I could force them to like zigzag around the marsh trying to attack me, which honestly would be ideal. So now that I've thought about that, let me change my mining zone a little bit and sort of force their weird zigzag. And I need to get somewhat of some semblance of an outpost here. That's the goal. Alright, so Luna is already heat stroking a bit. Jova's like, I don't care. Don't miss her at all. I might need to do the wardening method. We do have another bionic arm here. Gonna go through and see if there's anyone that needs it. Lucy. Wait. You have a smoke leaf dependence and you're not in prison? Well, once I install this bionic arm, I will imprison you while you're anesthetized. Because that is what a Kevorkian would do. I didn't realize she got, yeah, I had no idea. Tolerance, but no addiction. Yeah, I think she's the only addiction here. Certainly other people could use the arm, but... There you go, there's Lucy's bed. Alright, so now we're over to hay, and I think we're going to prioritize using the hay first, hopefully. Marriage is on. Hyena and Babs. Cool. I always had hope for you guys. You met in prison. You're prison lovers. Okay, they're hauling. And it's actually fine that they're just like hauling and hauling and hauling. I'm totally okay with that because... well, simply because there's so much stuff to be hauled there. So what I could do is, in the interest of not having to clean anything, let's utilize this space. Wow, there is so much rough stone here. And I believe when you mine away steel, it doesn't have hewn stone under it. I'll have to see in a second. Underneath it is just rough sandstone. Perfect. So there is a lot of territory I can reclaim here. Even more than this. But what I might want to do, given that I don't want flammable walls, is to set up a stone cutter. And we'll get that down anywhere. And someone needs a craft priority. Alright, so medical emergency. This is exactly what we wanted. We are going to rescue her with Jova. I don't think this is going to be enough to get them in a relationship, if I'm being honest. But, the way this works is rescued me plus 15. It helps a little bit with the relationship, so I'm going to invert this and have Jova get locked up. Wanderer joins, who's Kritos' father, and he joined the Outpost. And his first... oh, he's a neurotic wimp. Hugh the Wimp. He's a good cook, though. He's actually, would be... he has a lot of hearing loss. He would be a decent hunter out here if I gave him a gun. Because he could man this facility pretty easily and cook off anything that we needed cooked. So let's do a priority on him. Oh, he also mines and plant cuts. Yeah, he's kind of a Renaissance man. A deaf one, but a Renaissance man. Not a terrible addition to the community. Which is saying a lot, because most people are terrible additions to the community. Although I gotta say, he needs clothing. Alright, it's currently midnight. Man, there's a lot of self-taming going on over here. Oh, this is the... okay, yeah, I see. Work. We're gonna also have you handle. Well, the ascetics are not going to be too happy sleeping out like this. I guess I don't even need marble because they don't want marble necessarily. We will just any stone. I will have it be a sort of a nightmare mashup. Now that we know roughly where we're going to live, I'm going to move the stockpile. This is probably not going to stay potatoes very long because that's probably where I'm going to put the turrets. Yeah, so that's our plan. We're going to try to have the enemies come in this way and be shot by a whole bunch of turrets sitting here. And I'm going to drain the swamp so I can wall this off. That's the plan. Knack, you shouldn't be in here. Need rec variety. Yes. That's for our outpost. I understand that. No, right. I didn't want it out of this material, so let's not put it in that material. But, hey, you know what? Time flies. So, unfortunately, despite having my hands full, I'm out of time to continue this episode. So you're going to have to check in next time to see what happens with the outpost, the relationships, my productivity towards the goals that you set out for me. If you would like to participate in this series, all you got to do is hop on Discord or the website to be able to vote. The vote is weekly. It's every Thursday. And if you have any feedback, suggestions, anything like that, drop me a line, and I hope you tune in next time. Thank you all for watching, and adios.